Flooding in Siouxland impacting lives as some flood victims tonight are without a home. Heartbreaking images from across the tri-state area paint the picture of pure devastation. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Jessica Bowman. We begin our flood coverage tonight on Live at 5 with the latest from Riverside. Tonight, flood victims in shelters are forced to stay with friends and families after evacuating their home. Sioux City officials say the Big Sioux River in Riverside crested at 45 feet this morning. That's higher than the previous record of just over 37 feet and higher than officials expected. That did lead to emergency evacuation starting at 2 o'clock this morning. And right now, our team coverage starts now with KTIV's Clayton Anderson. He joined us tonight live from Riverside with Live Link 4 tonight. Clayton, what is the situation like right now?
That's right, Jessica. I'm on the low portion of Riverside, which is really the area that was evacuated. You can see behind me, you can still see some of that flood water, some activity from Sioux City Fire as they are still surveying the area, and about a dozen were evacuated from this area and are still not in their homes this evening. Early Monday morning, as floodwaters rose, rescue crews went door to door by boat, evacuating people from their homes and making sure no one was left behind.
We did assist 17 people out by boat or by walking them this morning. Everybody's been great about it.
By Monday afternoon, Sioux City Fire Rescue had visited 68 homes. Most were already empty, but in 4 cases, first responders had to rescue people still in their homes. Firefighters on scene said they've seen floodwaters contained to low-lying areas south of River Drive. They hope floodwaters will quickly recede, which would be welcome news for folks forced out of their homes.
We're hoping here at some point, hopefully within the next day, that even this part of Riverside quits creeping up and starts to subside also.
Yeah, now, Jessica, there is some good news. As of now, there are no injuries reported here in Riverside. Another good news is the water is receding. It is actually about a half a foot lower than when it was at its peak.